All right, let's take a look at a couple examples of some like word problems, some real life problems for lesson 1.10b, multiplying and dividing numbers in scientific notation. The world population is about 7 billion. There are 4.6 times 10 to the 7 ants for every human on the planet. About how many ants are on the world. Now, I'll be honest, when I see something like this, I struggle to know if I'm supposed to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. So my hint to you is to change it up a little bit. Use some different numbers. Here's what I mean. Let's just say the world population is 7, just plain old 7. And there are 3 ants for every human on the planet. Well, if there's 3 ants for every human and there's 7 humans, I would go 7 times 3. I'm going to multiply. That's what I want you to take away from this. You can change the numbers to things maybe better understand, but what you want to focus on is what operation you're doing. So what I'm taking away for all this is that let's multiply. And I want us to focus on multiplying in scientific notation. So 7 billion. There is 7,000, 7 million, 7 billion. So if I wanted to write this as a number in scientific notation, I want the number to be behind the 7, because then it's 7 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 7 times 10 to the 9th. Excuse me. So I'm going to multiply that by the number of ants, 4.6 times 10 to the 7th. Okay, again, when we're multiplying, we don't have to worry about this power of 10 being the same. What I want you to realize, again, is that this is all multiplication. 7 times 10 to the 9th times 4.6, not 4.5, 4.6 times 10 to the 7th. And then we can just multiply, I'm going to say like terms, they're not necessarily that they're like terms, but I'm going to multiply my rational numbers together. So I'll go 7 times 4.6, and that's 32.2, times, and then I'm going to multiply my powers of 10 together. Same base multiplying, I'm going to add their exponents, and that becomes 9 plus 7. All right, so this is 32.2 times 10 to the 16th. Again, before you finish up the problem, double check to make sure it's in scientific notation. Your homework says write your answer in scientific notation. This isn't. This is a number bigger than 10. It has to be between 1 and 10. We should be getting hopefully pretty good at fixing that. I want the decimal point to become between the 3 and the 2 because that is a number between 1 and 10. And I'm not changing this number, I'm just writing it in scientific notation. If I go from where I want the decimal point to where it is, I'm moving it 1 to the right. I'm making it smaller by a power of 10, so I have to make this bigger by a power of 10. So that becomes 3.22 times 10 to the 7th. How many ants are there in the world? This many ants. Okay. So let's look at another example. A certain social media company processes about 990 billion likes per year. If the company has approximately 8.9 times 10 to the 8th users of social media, how many likes is each user responsible for? I want the likes per user. So we have 990 billion, 990,000, 990 million, 990 billion. Okay, so again, that's an L there, likes. So to put that in scientific notation, I want it between the 9 and the 9. 9.9 times 10. We go from where we want it to where it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 times 10 to the 11th over the number of users right here. 8.9 times 10 to the 8th. And then we divide this up. I'm going to rewrite this as 9.9 divided by 8.9. times 10 to the 11th. There we go. 10 to the 11th over 10 to the 8th. So use your calculator. We're going to have to approximate again. I'm just going to say it's 1.11, I guess. Throw that approximately equal to sign in there. 1.11 times 10 to the same base dividing, subtract the exponents. So 1.11 times 10 to the third. That's the number of likes per user. Now, just to kind of put that in perspective a little bit, it does want us to write in standard notation too. So remember, if I wanted to go into standard notation, I would take this positive 3 and I'd take my decimal point and move it 3 units to the right. So that would become 1,110 likes per user per year. That's a lot of likes. So a couple things to take away from this. Using your exponent rules, whether you're dividing or you're multiplying, different than addition, we don't have to have the same power of 10. Subtraction too. And the other thing is, if you don't know if you're multiplying or dividing, use some easier numbers. Kind of just go with what makes sense, and then use that same operation for our really big or really small numbers.